A true sports car can only be defined by different types of people as many things. But one of the most important elements in what makes a car handle on track properly will always be weight, as well as weight distribution. Old British roadsters were the first to embark on the venture of trying to create a proper handling lightweight roadster and gave us some good examples over the years, with Lotus leading the way without a budget in mind. Mazda thought differently. They believed that they could achieve similar results for much cheaper and more reliably, and so the MX-5 was born, a car so infamous it needs no introduction. That's essentially what made Mazda's sweet MX-5 Roadster, nicknamed the Miata, the perfect driver's car, always cited as the most fun car, at least for the budget within which it resides in. An attainable, good-looking, and properly fun car is the balance of qualities that many manufacturers have struggled forever to perfect. Yes, the Miata might be lacking in power, but as it has been proven, thousands have done insane engine swaps to these little machines and made them monsters. Modern Miatas make decent power and sell well to this day. We are all thankful for that, as it dominates the segment of vehicles it pretty much pioneered. But come to think of it, today's market of lightweight sporty roadsters is either a Miata in these three forms, or was the Opel Speedster, which also came in various different forms. Even Daewoo, the Lotuses of their time, as well as today, are not nearly as attainable and so less popular by the masses, as well as too oriented to track use rather than keeping a balance of sportiness and livability like other cars strike so well. But what if I told you that we almost had a true purebred American competitor in this admittedly charming but lacking segment of the market? A car that was designed to be a rival to the highly loved Miata. Who would have the balls to shoot for the king's throne? Perhaps a demon. So this is the 2007 Dodge Demon. Yes, Dodge Demon, not the Challenger we know of today, but a concept car that was fully developed to be roadworthy in every sense, but never actually made it to production, sadly. I actually came across this car when I watched this video, in which the inventor of the Miata reacted and talked about a couple of concepts from back in the day, and one of them was the Dodge Demon, which I've now fallen in love with. That is why I meticulously spent a lot of hours 3D modeling this car just for the little showcase for this video, and because I just really like the car and the look. This beautiful piece of Americans' forgotten history was designed by Jay Tong and Dan Zimmerman as the interior designer. It weighs only 1,100 kilos or around 2,600 pounds. And just by looking at it, you can tell it's a nimble and swift car. A 6-speed manual, rear-wheel drive, and the engine in the front gives it solid driving characteristics, and 172 horsepower is respectable in the segment it was hoping to evade. Today, we will take a closer look at this interesting concept car that I personally really wish was made into production. Entering the 2000s, Daimler Chrysler was looking into various avenues into progressing the Dodge brand into the future, with some retro-inspired designs, as that was the thing most manufacturers were aiming for. The Viper was really popular, but also expensive, and there wasn't a midpoint option for buyers who enjoy sporty cars but also want a more usable weekend getaway car. So Dodge got to work creating the Demon. The car was officially debuted in the 2007 Geneva Motor Show to relatively warm reception. Since the Demon was fully developed and almost ready to hit the road, some reporters at the time even got to drive it around.
Hi, this is Kelsey Mays for Cars.com. We're in Michigan right now, testing out the new Dodge Demon concept. Dodge unveiled this car at the 2007 Geneva Auto Show. The automaker calls it an attainable dream car, which means it could be for Dodge what the MX-5 is for Mazda and the Pontiac Solstice and Saturn Sky are for GM.
The Demon has a lot of people split. You're either going to love this or hate this design, but you cannot deny that it solidified what the Charger of the era looks like. Its design language was carefully crafted, and in my opinion, the more you look at it and examine the lines, the more it grows on you, especially if you are an imaginative person and can think of this in any other color other than this bright amber pearl concept showcase paint. Here, I've crudely changed it to dark silver for you, even with the accented lighter rear intake, which for the record is fully functional and is used to cool down the rear brakes.
I believe that Drake is a pussy.
Alright, so various people have noted that the front end resembles the Honda S2000 somewhat, that the rear very much resembles an Audi TT, and some lines from the side and top are reminiscent of the 350Z, none of which are negative features in the slightest. I think that the car just looks immaculate. I also wanted to compare the interior design of the car with the early S197 Mustang's interior, a car in a similar class, yet much heavier. The interior design philosophy seems to be similar, and as an owner of an S197, have I told you I own this car? I keep mentioning that I own this car in my videos, I don't even mean to. I can see similarities and note that this interior would have been amazing for this car. I especially love the idea behind the gauge cluster being designed after watches.
We got into designing the gauge faces. We really wanted to have kind of a scientific value to them. So we looked at high-end sports watches. We wanted something that communicated an athletic appeal and something that was very bold and scientific.
This type of inspiration and cues are charming in the industry, yet nowadays all we get are screens that look numbing to look at. But you can change the little lines to pink, yay. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of the general design of this car. I'm interested of its appeal. I would personally give it like a solid 9, actually. And there's only like 3 things I would change about the design, and they are in the rear end of the car. I would personally push the taillights in and put like a texture on the redness of the taillight, and I would also change this angle to be more aggressive. But other than that, I think the design is amazing. Close to 200 horsepower, rear-wheel drive and a 6-speed manual. What can go wrong? That sounds like the recipe to success. That is, if the power plant you use is a solidly built one. The concept car is fitted with the World engine. The World gasoline engines were, and still are in some cases, a lineup of 4-cylinder power plants based on the Global Alliance design, which was a somewhat complicated partnership of Chrysler, Mitsubishi and Hyundai. The base design was mostly done by Hyundai and is produced in many various displacements ranging from 1.8 liters to 2.4 liters. Each company used their own expertise on top of the base block of the engine, saving all of the money in the long run. The World gasoline engines are not particularly known, however, for being reliable, nor fast, nor efficient. They're just capable enough for most normal use cases. So our little demon here would have been mass produced with the 2.4 liter Chrysler variant of this engine, making 172 horsepower and 165 pound-feet of torque.
Under the hood is a 2.4 liter, 172 horsepower 4-cylinder. It's Chrysler's World engine, and we haven't been too impressed with it in its other applications. But considering it's paired with a car this small, it could prove plenty peppy enough.
To me, it's kind of as revolutionary of a machine as the redesigned Mustang was. But the Mustang came as a coupe mostly, and then the convertible was a secondary choice that wasn't really a sporty experience, it was more of a convertible experience. So I believe that this car would have hit multiple markets. It would have hit the convertible market in general, it would have hit the sporty car market, it would have hit what the BRZ is today, it would have hit markets like that. Sporty, convertible, luxury, it would have hit a decent amount of markets, and so I believe that it would actually eat up a lot of sales if it was ever produced. So let's talk about why it didn't happen. Dodge actually really wanted to do this, but it wasn't easy for them to fork out the money to finalize the factories and everything in order to produce this because of two main reasons. One is bad management. At the time, in 2007 to 2008, the company was going through a restructure because it was being sold to a different company, and that made it really hard for them to suddenly just pour money into creating this project. So for the next few years, the car was just moved around from different venues into different places to be shown, but it was never really produced. Then in 2008, there were talks about Dodge and China's Chery Inc. to work on a front-wheel drive platform that was supposed to be used in a different Chinese Chery car, but that never saw the light of day. So a combination of the 2008 financial crisis and bad management that wasn't sure of what to do or how to actually make this a feasible production car is what killed the project. The car would have been sold for around 20,000 USD in today's money, which actually is a really good price. It's a car that would have sold really well. It's a very competitive price for what it is. So my thoughts on what this could have been is, I think this would have been one of the coolest, most interesting American cars. I really wish that this existed because America never really truly created a roadster by itself. There isn't a lot of competition in this area, and I've heard that Toyota is actually about to challenge the Miata themselves with this concept that they are saying they're looking into manufacturing, and I'm very excited for that. I'm not too fond of the design of this concept, but I figured the production version is not going to look exactly like that, so hopefully they improve the design, and I hope that the car actually performs, because that would be amazing. That would genuinely be a really good addition to the sporty roadster market, which has definitely needed some competition lately, is what I believe. And who knows, maybe Dodge one day reveals another concept like this, or maybe an electric version, since that's what they're forced to do by their parent company nowadays. Maybe something like that happens. I don't know if that's gonna be fun or interesting because it doesn't sound lightweight to me, but we'll see. I just know that a project exactly like this, like a gasoline-engined roadster from Dodge, is impossible nowadays. This could never happen, but I wish it did happen. Today, as far as I can tell, the car is located in the National Automotive and Truck Museum, which is in Auburn, Indiana. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I do not know if I am. And I plan on visiting the premises someday because not only I really want to see the Demon up close, but they also have some other incredible Chrysler concept cars there that I am going to eventually make videos on. Thank you for watching my video. I really appreciate you watching this far. Please make sure to comment your opinions on this car, whether it is appealing to you or not. And if you have any other obscure cars to suggest, I would love to see your suggestions. Thank you for watching.